You're now tuned into Fresh Heat Radio.
Back is Fresh Heat Radio. You already know what time it is. We back in the building talking Z.
Yes, sir. You already know what it is. We back with another one with y'all. Before we get into it, don't hit that like and subscribe button down below. Make sure y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that alert bell so y'all know when we on every time. We with y'all. What's this, episode 19 today?
19 out here.
That's big. Episode 19. And we had a pretty I would say semi-controversial topic. But at the same time, I mean, it's the reality that we live in. So, what is it? What we getting into today?
Message! Leaped into the flow of things, but I literally gotta say, this is exciting for me because I'm ready to get into all the griminess, all the debates, all of that, and I can't wait to see the comments drop down below. So, what's the topic? Pronouns or nah? Let's get into it. All these pronouns. She, hers, her, him, his. I don't think so. It's no way. No, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
I want to feel like they're a part of something. Man, black people in this country, they want to feel like they are a part of something. No doubt. Stick around, Jay. I'm a school you.
To speak of how this even came up, of course you already know Z Heat with the expert social media scavenger mode, picked up this nice little footage about on Dr. Phil with a guy discussing with two transgender. Oh, we're gonna be term specific. Yes, we will. We're gonna be term specific. Two transgender from male to females on the show, and it was an interesting question, and I can't wait to dive right in, all puns intended. The man said, what is a woman? A 9-year-old boy can't answer the question, what is a girl? Besides going to anatomy or stating the human setup. Why, Z, is it such a press for these pronouns? Why? Why do you think that is? That's what I want to ask you, Z. Before we even go over that, where do you think this even originated from? This pronoun business.
Well, I mean, it's like all the rest of it. It's just inclusion. It's just another way for people to try to separate themselves from everybody to gain an individual identity amongst a lot of people, but you just can't create something that isn't there. That's my whole thing. I'm not against it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody belongs to groups, everybody belongs to different social groups, everybody belongs to different types of, you know what I mean? Like, it's different things that different people are into. And I'm not here to say one thing is right over the other. All I'm saying is when you get down to it, you can't specifically deny the science that's been established and proven based off of your own personal feelings, right? I mean, that's kind of my whole thing. The fact is, like, it's he, she, it, right? Like, those are the three, you know what I mean, pronouns. He, she, it, male, female, and otherwise. You know what I mean? Anything other is not male or female.
Right.
Other, right? You know what I mean? But as far as sexes go, in any species on this planet, you're gonna find male or female, right?
Bingo.
Yeah. Unless you're talking about plants, is when the only time you can talk about asexual, and asexual still isn't even transsexual.
It's not.
Right?
It's
Yeah, I mean, they're different. So, yeah, man. Yeah, nah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. I mean,
go ahead. No, keep going, because
No.
I'm gonna keep going. So, you know me, I like to definitely dig into, you know, I'm gonna actually go for like suffixes and prefixes, right? And even when we talk about the prefix trans, right? You have to say on or to the other side of. There is no in between, which is so interesting to me because their mindset states that you either have to go beyond or underneath. That is what the prefix trans means. To call yourself something that is technically not even above or beneath, which being above or beneath, calling yourself a woman or calling yourself a man is too absolute. To get too deep, it's like saying, like they said on the show, I am an attractive male. That is my idea of how I look. That is an absolute. It can't be 100% absolute because somebody could disagree with me off rip. If I say that I am a male, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, I am a male based on certain criteria that my man, like my man Zia said, that has been established. There is no higher absolute than that. So to call yourself to say that you can go from one state to another based on a mind state is hilarious to me based on what they classify themselves as. And again, I really go back to my boy Dave Chappelle. Just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean that I am. And it's the truth. It doesn't mean that you are. Couldn't said it more real himself. I also want to dig into this question. When it comes to the fact that they embrace something that they can't understand, again, going back to it, we're not saying what they're doing behind closed doors is right or wrong. However, what we are saying is to be socially acceptable, it needs to be clearly defined parameters that they can operate in. And there's none.
For real, I mean, I don't even know if you even really got to take as far as that stuff for me, right? I mean, you got LBGT community, right? You know what I mean? And I think now it's like LGBTQ plus or something like that. It just continue to add on to originally lesbian, gays, bisexuals, right?
Correct.
So at the end of the day, boy, like what it all comes down to is sexual preference, right? You know what I mean? Like that's it, you know what I mean? Which, and once again, zero judgment over here for me, because you're into whatever you're into. I ain't never had judgment over sexual preference, and I probably never will, but you can't take sexual preference and turn it into an entire, like what's the word? A whole new gender, right? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work like that. Like if you're a female and you're interested in other females, you know what I mean? I understand that. That makes you a lesbian. If you're a male and you're interested in other males, that makes you gay. I get that. You know what I mean? Some people might be interested in both. You know what I mean? I understand that. That's bi. You know what I mean? Like that all makes sense. You know what I mean? And even the fact of somebody wanting to be something else, you know what I mean? Even that, whatever. Understand though that that's what you're doing, right? You know what I mean? Right. Like just call it what it is, right? You are one sex and you would just like to be the other one, right? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm 33, about to be 34 years old. I've seen men dress up as women in the past before transgender was a real thing, right? They were just gay. Cool, cross-dressing, right? You know what I mean? Whatever. That's your thing, that's your preference, that's your life. It's okay, right? You know what I mean? What you can do is gonna come and try to convince me that you're something separate than a male or a female. Right. You know what I mean? What you can't come to me is, and you can't come to me and try to convince me, you know what I mean? Because this is how you feel. This is what it is. I can sit here and feel that 2 + 2 is 5 all day long, but we all know it's not, right? You know what I mean? Like it just isn't, right? You know what I mean? Because it's been proven. You know what I mean? Through science and
but it's different maths out there, Z. It's different math.
There is different math. That's what I'm saying.
Why
there is
not?
a different math.
Why isn't there a different math?
It's fact and feeling. I mean, that's all it is. It's just facts and feelings. You know what I mean? Now, we're as a country, why we see so much heat off of it now is because we gradually every day start to weigh feelings more and more as much as we weigh facts, right?
That's
I mean, like,
where we're going, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But that's the part that it is. You know what I mean? It's not just like that for the LGBT community. You know what I mean? It's like that for a lot of things. People just get their feelings. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all part of inclusion, right? You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be different. Everybody wants to stand down and be individualized. But then nobody wants to be separated from the pack at the same time, right? Everybody wants to be included, but everybody wants to be different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you can't force somebody else's perception on the situation. You can't sit here and force your perception on me of a certain situation. You can't sit here and come to me and tell me, you know what I mean? Because this is how you feel. You know what I mean? This is how I should feel as well. Now, I do have this saying that I use all the time, saying perception is reality. However, it really only affects your perception, right? I mean, how I feel is how it is.
Right.
Period. Right? You know what I mean? Period. Now, this is how I feel. Somebody else may feel different. You know what I mean? I can tell you how I feel. I can tell you why I feel how I feel based off of the evidence that I've read, all the information I got. I have no problem arguing my state of mind or defending my position just based off of all the knowledge I've been given. You show me something else, I'm open to change, right? Always have been, always will.
And that's
if you can prove to me otherwise. I'm not closed-minded saying this is what it is, this is what it's going. Show me something different, because as of now, I gotta go with the facts. I gotta go with the facts, and the facts say it's he, she. There's no them, they, right? Them, they is plural. Them, they is plural for he, she, right? You know what I mean? If there's more than one he, if there's more than one she, that's them, that's they, right? You know what I mean? There's no other gender included in that, because there's no other gender that.
Unless they're aliens and we just don't know about it, then we can.
Right, this is what we talking about.
I think that's would have been the smart, educated thing to be. You know what? I'm not even a human. I'm an alien. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm actually cool with that stance. Like, you're an alien. Now we can explore other things of this other nature. But as long as you associate yourself with a man at the end of whatever you say, woman or man, then that's an issue. Now to bring it a little more closer to home. I've been having a tough time dealing with that particular community associating racism and the fact of being ostracized or some sort of prejudice put to them compared to the 400, 500 plus years that African Americans have struggled with that same thing. Z, do you feel that the level of, I can't even say racism because they're not really a race, the level of prejudice is comparable to that of an African American person that we've experienced?
Of course not. There's nothing comparable to what we experienced however, but everybody tries to compare it, so you can't. It's hard to be offended by that, because literally everybody tries to compare it. It ain't just transsexuals that originally it was gay folks. The whole gay rights thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's literally an entire movement. You know what I mean? Because it's an entire group of people that have tried to compare, you know what I mean, their struggles. Now, living in America to live in America, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain stigmas, there's certain, you know what I mean, lifestyles, there's certain everything. However, when you layer different things on top of each other, you know what I mean, that creates the perception that you give people in the US, right? You know what I mean? Now, prime example, me. I'm a 33-year-old black male, right? You know what I mean? Like this right there in and of itself carries a certain title here. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna look at me a certain way just because of my age, just because of the color of my skin, just because of what sex I am. You know what I mean? We can have my sisters who are black females, their perception of the role is gonna get a little bit different. And we take it the next step. Me, I'm straight, I'm married, you know what I mean? If I was a gay black male, that would be something different, right? You know what I mean? That would be another layer on top of it, right? You know what I mean? So, the more layers that you have on top of your identity, though, in the United States at least, you know what I mean? The tougher it is, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, personally, I feel like the tougher it is on people, because the more layers that you put on is the more identities that you try to have to identify with, right? You know what I mean? And you can't identify with everything, right? You know what I mean? So therefore, when you have people out here now in the LGBT community upset or trying to fight and compare themselves, a lot of people, white people who are going through that, I can't really speak on your experience. You just mad because somebody don't like you. But then the black people in that community, you know what I mean? The black people in that community who are already experiencing racism, the same level of racism that we was already experienced previously, and then you couple that with the fact that they black now, you know what I mean? that they're gay or transsexual on top of that, Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? They probably getting it a little bit tougher than I've gotten it in my life, you know what I mean? But that's their choice. That's their decision that they walk. That's the life that they got lived by, you know what I mean? It's whatever, you know what I mean? Once again, there's no judgment on that part, but you can't sit here and say collectively, women's rights sat there and try to compare the exact same thing. That to the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement and civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. They got Asian Americans out here getting special laws passed because they want to compare, you know what I mean, the stuff that we had to go through Jim Crow with the shit that they was having to deal with for coronavirus. You know what I mean? Right. It's a lot that gets pushed out. You know what I mean? And the whole thing about that is, honestly, I ain't the type that I don't care who else gets a check, right? You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely don't care who else gets support. I don't care which individual groups get support. I don't care who all gets what underneath this massive umbrella. What I do care about specifically is if you're going to specifically get into groups, and you're going to specifically into social groups, and you're going to specifically get into personal individual people, then why don't black people specifically get something as well, right? That's genuinely my whole issue, you know what I mean? Like, that's genuinely my whole issue. When it comes down to it, I genuinely don't have a problem with lesbians, gays, transsexuals, bisexuals. It don't matter to me. I don't care. What I'm going to say is, if you can sit there and have a social group, race, class, whatever you want to call it, that's so newly evolved and accepted in society, and be able to you know what I mean, provide them with all of these rights and protections and you know what I mean, benefits for being part of this group that's new to society. Why can't the people who've been a part of this society for quite some time now, who built a lot of this society to begin with, can't get those same benefits? That's genuinely my whole issue with it, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not even really an issue, it's more of a question. You know what I mean? As if I can stand up in this mud and say, yo, I'm a female now, that's what I identify as, and go get all the benefits of being a woman.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, why is there no benefits? If there's benefits to being a woman, if there's benefits to being gay, if there's benefits to being Asian, if there's benefits to being, you know what I mean, Hispanic a lot of times, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, minorities is one thing, people of color, why aren't there any benefits for the people who've already been here? Why aren't there any benefits for people who have had a proven track record of struggling in this country? Why aren't there any benefits of that? That's just my whole shit with it.
I think it's so hard to determine something that says of African American descent, because what I feel like you're gonna have a lot of people that have no correspondence with anybody of African descent claiming that 1%, and now you got to give it to them. But then again, you pose a good point, because there's a lot of other people that there's Asian benefits. Is everybody claiming Asian benefits? Maybe not. Who should get the higher percentage of the thing? Who cares? As long as they get something. Right. As long as they get something.
At this point.
So I guess to reel it in as well, when it comes to, from my point of view of that, I am always for rights of people who can't change what they are. And that's just my feeling. Example, I don't mind comparing women's rights to a degree, let me specify, to a degree, to prejudice and racism that African Americans as a whole had, because they had no choice of being a woman, right? We had no choice of being black. Like, we were born. A woman is born. Like, there's no choice of that. There's no cognizant effort to try to reverse that. However, the struggle for me is that a lot of those things weren't done across a whole multitude of women. There were some that did not experience everything. Like, there were some white women that probably never had to deal with those issues. Some. Black people across any person, if they came into America, they were going to be dealing with that. My question now is to pose, should there be separate, and I'm kind of going into the topic for next week that I want to dive into, but this is a perfect transition. Should there be separate competitions, bathrooms, anything of that sort for transgender. When they're associating themselves with something that wouldn't fit along the lines of normal society, would there need to be a separate area for them in certain aspects? Athletics, bathrooms, stuff like that.
I'm gonna say definitely, yeah. I was just thinking about this the other day because I was reading something about I want to say it was like I can't remember what sport he played. I want to say it was a swimmer.
Leah Thomas, we getting into it. Don't worry, that's next week.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but there's multiple instances that I've read of transgender, primarily men going over into women's sports and absolutely dominating in these sports, right? Yeah, I mean, and it's not fair. So this is my whole thing, right? You know what I mean? So this is what it is. I absolutely believe that if we're gonna go down, I don't necessarily agree with the entire route of inclusion to that extent, only because it just goes against the science. However, you know what I mean, you really gotta go with the flow on it. You gotta go with the masses. So if this is the route that you're gonna go down, then I feel like you need to go all the way down it. If you're gonna sit here and look me in my face and try to convince me that, you know what I mean, that there is something other than XY chromosomes, then you need to set up that third basis across all fronts. We got a men's basketball association, we got the WNBA, there could be a TNBA. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Why not? When you're going to NCAA sports, you got women's sports, you got men's sports. There can be a league. I mean, nobody gets mad at the Paralympics.
And that was going to be the thing that I compared to. Who's beefing with a wheelchair athlete playing basketball?
Nobody.
Put them in
Nobody.
the NBA? No.
It's all collective. They all got, you know what I mean? It puts everybody on a more balanced, equal playing field. Nobody has any complaints about it, you know what I mean? And this is like, if this is the route that we're gonna go, this is the route we're gonna have to go, you know what I mean? It should just set up a third, everything for everybody for that other. Because essentially that's what it is. It's male, female, other, right? You know what I mean? So if you want to set up that for other, whatever you want to include yourself in, whatever you want to identify yourself as, if it's other, you know what I mean, then a male or a female, if there's any kind of transition from into that, just for inclusion, comfort, because you can't sit here and force yourself to make everybody else comfortable. I mean, you can't sit here and force everybody else to be comfortable, but then you don't have to adjust to anybody else as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you could end up dominating the sport. And then again, if it's a female turning male, by the laws of the Olympics, you cannot take any performance enhancing drugs. They're taking somewhere between 5 and 7 doses of testosterone. If any Olympic athlete were to take, that's why I was having a look up to just track, if any Olympic athlete was to take that amount, they would be disqualified from the Olympics and no longer allowed to compete. The same type of dosage, if you take 10 milligrams of estrogen, is equivalent to 3.5 milligrams of testosterone. That person that competed in that college event as a swimmer, if they are really going through the process of being transgender, should not have been allowed to compete based on the laws of that. Which makes your point further true, Z. You need to outlaw how much testosterone or estrogen is allowed in each competition, which wouldn't be relevant in any other type of competition, Olympic-wide or NCAA-wide. You don't have to worry about people taking testosterone because you know what? The rule is you just don't do it. You have to worry about people taking extra estrogen because you know what the law is? You just don't do it. How are these people allowed to participate in these sports when they're clearly violating NCAA protocol? And if they decide to progress forward in an Olympic event, you cannot do that. That's where you're going to run into the problem, and that's where the issue is.
Oh yeah, we definitely going to run into these problems in the Olympics coming up real soon. Maybe even at the next one, because this is the crazy thing. The U.S. is the only one who's really entertaining this dumb shit.
Yes.
Really, the rest of the countries is not sitting here. Like, we endangered, it's not going down like that at all, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's all. Just like it's science, bro. If you want to get into law, social classes, if you want to start giving protections for different, sexual preferences, the whole nine, like whatever. But just understand at the end of the day, the science is, 1, 2, male, female, XY. There's nothing else. It's a combination of those two. You are one of the other. And until there's something else out there to prove that, you know what I mean? That's what I'm rocking with. That's what I'm rocking with. You know what I mean? I don't got no beef with nobody. I ain't got nothing against nobody. I don't judge nobody. You know what I mean? Just like I don't think nobody better than me. I don't think I'm better than nobody, right? You know what I mean? Like, leave me be. This is how we walk. You know what I mean? Like, but I ain't dumb.
Exactly. I'm not calling you a kangaroo when you look like a human. And that's how we are going to wrap this up, because that's the end of the show. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to Fresh Heat Radio.
Yes, sir. It was another good one. I appreciate y'all rocking with us for the 19th. We getting on that big 2-0 next time. You know what I mean? Once again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe for y'all get up out of here. Hey, throw in them comments what y'all think, man. Like I said, yeah, it's controversial.
This is a good one. This is
what we dealing with right now. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, yo, Key, stay open about it, yo. Tell us what you think, man. If there's anything else that y'all want to talk about, make sure y'all put that in there too. And absolutely, yo, Zoe, sign us out, boy.
And you know how we get out of here. Adios.
Yeah.